Part 15. I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 141. Dad, you saw it, I said only one punch. Luffy said. Long glanced at Luffy, then at Zoro and Sanji, and finally looked at Bayou. I thought you had made a move, but it was also your labor. I disabled him first. And if you punched someone else, they would do the same. Okay, we should go too. Warring States shook his head. What the two of them did today was already very inappropriate. If others see it again, it will be really troublesome. Don't leave in a hurry. Bayou appeared on the boat and stopped the two old men. It's easy to get on the boat, but it's not easy to get off the boat. Although these two old guys are old, their strength is definitely not bad. He should make good use of it. Boy Bayou, what else do you want to do? Garp frowned and had a bad feeling in his heart. Mr. Garp, look at what you said, it's rare for you to get together as a family. I just took a photo for you and gave it to you. Bye. You smiled slightly. Robin took a photo and handed it to Garp. In the photo, the three people's faces were close together, holding cups, with smiles on their faces. Seeing the photo, Garp was silent for a moment. Put the photo in your pocket. Mr. Warring States, this is our group photo, and I'll give you one too. Without Bayou's words, Robin took out a photo again and handed it to Warring States. Asshole! What on earth are you going to do? How could Warring States not understand that this is the threat of Chikuakuo? If these two photos get into the hands of the world government, he and Garp will not be able to explain it even if they have 100 mouths. What can I do? I invite you to a banquet and just give you a photo. What bad intentions can I have? Bye. You said with a smile. Yes, boy bye you can have any bad intentions. Garp nodded in approval. You idiot, what will happen if these two photos get into the hands of the world government? Warring States roared loudly. Bayou shouldn't do this, right? Wouldn't it be good for him? Garp said with a puzzled look on his face. Mr. Garp still understands me. Bayou is very satisfied. This is very strange. Garp is a fool. Tell me, what do you want us to do for you? As long as it doesn't violate the principles, I can help you. Warring States said very directly. Warring States, if you call me a fool again, I will fall out with you. Garp was very angry. He just didn't want to think so much. He was not really stupid. Of course, Bayou didn't regard Garp as a real fool. If he really thought like that, then he would be a real fool. Mr. Garp is as wise as he is foolish. I understand that this guy in the Warring States period has been a marshal for a long time and always thinks bad things about people. I don't blame him. Bayou sighed helplessly. It's okay, I will educate him well in the future. Garp said very seriously. Bang bang. The veins on Sengoku's forehead bulged, and his fists were clenched. Okay, such a big commotion here has probably attracted the attention of many people. You should go back. If anyone sees you again, I will silence you, which will be very troublesome. Bayuruo said with a hint. Then let's go. Capra pulled Sengoku and left. Although Sengoku was very reluctant, he still left. The goat followed quickly, for fear that these people would roast it later. What a shame, that sheep must be delicious. Luffy looked a little depressed as he watched the goat run away. Don't worry, I'll roast the goat. Bayou chuckled. Now the control of Warring States and Garp is in his hands. Isn't it easy to roast a whole lamb? At the critical moment, these two old guys are also a powerful fighting force. Super. Frankie's voice suddenly sounded. Bang. Two huge guys fell on the deck. Bear. The dragon called tentatively. Frankie's skills are very high. He not only solved the hidden dangers for me, but also upgraded it for me on the original basis. The bear said expressionlessly. It's fine, but what's wrong with your hair? Long looked a little weird when he saw the bear's afro. Frankie said I suited this hairstyle. The bear pointed at Frankie and said, Super afro is a man's romance. Super transformation. Frankie said as he nodded his nose, and his hair instantly turned into an afro. Amazing. Luffy, Usopp, and Chopper's eyes immediately lit up. Can bears be upgraded? Bayou asked doubtfully. Certainly. I'm a super genius, and this little thing can't help me. Big Bear. Let them see how powerful we are at transforming people. Frankie shouted excitedly. At the same time, he also posed. Transform into a robot. The terrifying cyborg is about to appear. Amazing. The three fools got excited in cooperation. Then, the bear buttoned his nose, and then nothing happened. The air became quiet. Of course it was not caused by Usopp's use of abilities. Stupid bear. Activate combat mode. Frankie yelled, this is so embarrassing. Oh. The bear nodded. Then, armor began to appear on the bear's body. Before long, the armor had completely covered the bear's body. It was like a robot. Really a robot. Luffy was so excited that he almost fainted. Chopper had already fainted. Usopp quickly came to the bear's side for a quick check, his face full of excitement. Mechas are a man's romance. The bear in combat state can not only fire lasers, but also use his own abilities, with strong defense and full attack power. Frankie introduced excitedly, and the suit is hidden inside his body and is very easy to wear. After exiting combat mode, the suit will re-enter his body. After the words fell, Seong also exited the fighting state. What I'm most worried about is, will the bear's consciousness and memory disappear? The dragon doesn't care how powerful the bear is. What he cares about most is the bear. Don't worry, his current situation can be regarded as another kind of immortality. He will not die even if you die. Frankie sighed, however, his current body does not have any consciousness. He only has consciousness and memory. This is all I can do, unless I can change a new body for him in the future. Change body. Long's eyes widened. Yeah, but I can't do it right now. Frankie shook his head. He knew very well that all the suits he was building now were actually elementary. He couldn't master those advanced technologies yet. But he believed that as long as he mastered the advanced technologies behind, if he wants to change the bear's body, it can definitely be achieved. Fine. We can wait. Thank you so much. Long is very excited, as long as there is hope. Now that the bear is okay, it's time for us to talk about the cost of rescuing the bear and the cost of the four of us helping you. Bayou's voice sounded. The smile on Long's face disappeared immediately. He remembered that in order to save the bear, he seemed to have promised Bayou, any condition. I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 142. Nami, help Mr. Long do the math. Bye. You said with a smile. Okay. Nami immediately took out a small abacus. The total bounty for the four of them is 7.3 billion Baileys. With their worth, 1 billion Baileys is not too much for one shot, right? And the food and drinks tonight are a little cheaper, with a discount, even if you get 500 million belly. I don't know the specific price of the therapy bear. It's up to the deputy captain to set the price. I only count the cost of the materials. An ordinary pacifist in the Navy is 100 million belly. The suit made by Frankie can easily destroy the pacifist and is more practical. I believe Mr. Long also knows that this kind of technology is priceless. But Mr. Long is our captain's father after all. We won't charge you more. We'll just charge you a craft fee, 1 billion belly. The total adds up to 2.5 billion belly. A smile appeared on Nami's face. Would you like to pay in cash or trade with treasure? Long's face turned dark. A meal for the few of them actually cost 500 million belly. Although it was really delicious, at least it was the first time in so many years that he had eaten such delicious food. Eat. He tolerated 500 million, but these four guys asked him for 1 billion Baileys once. This was simply a money grab. He had never done so expensively before. In other words, the suit on the bear was still worth 1 billion Bailey. After all, he knew the power of that suit. But, 2.5 billion Bailey, how could he get so much money? The most important thing is that this is just an ordinary fee. Bayou's conditions are not yet carry. Well, can I pay it back in installments? Long also knows that if he wants to default on his debt, he will definitely not be able to do so. Moreover, after all, the captain of the Straw Hat Pirates is his son, and the money does not count as giving to outsiders. Of course, how many installments do you want? Bayou said with a smile. How about 10 years? Long said shamelessly. The smile on Bayou's face disappeared instantly. You want to default on the debt, right? How can it be? Long shook his head quickly. You also know that our revolutionary army is very poor. Let alone 2.5 billion belly, it is very difficult to come up with 200 million belly. Where is your brain? If you don't have money, doesn't the world government have money? With a leader like you, no wonder the revolutionary army cannot develop its power. You don't want the heavenly gold from the franchised countries around the world every year. Are you the most vicious criminal in the world? The more Bayou talked, the angrier he became. As the same force, the world government could easily take out 20 devil fruits. The revolutionary army wasted no effort in getting to money. The celestial dragons can just buy a slave and take it. Hundreds of millions of Baileys. Long, this leader, can't even get 2.5 billion Baileys. The most annoying thing is that it has to be paid in 10 years. Do you think this is buying a house? It has to be paid in 10 years. Long was by you couldn't say a word. It's not like he never thought about robbing the heavenly gold, but after considering the impact of his reputation, he gave up. I'll give you 2 months to raise 2.5 billion belly and send it to me. If you can't get it, don't blame me. Bayou said fiercely. He also discovered that Long, this guy, can't do it without pressing harder. Okay, I try my best. Long sighed helplessly. This year's heavenly gold should have started to be delivered. You can just grab a copy. Bayou made a suggestion. In fact, he really wanted to grab it. After all, a piece of heavenly gold is worth at least several billion Baileys. Although money is not important to him, he will not have too much. Bayou. Let's grab it too. Nami's eyes turned into Pele. One portion is worth more than 2 billion Pele. She will never let go of such an opportunity to make a fortune. When I got the information, the route taken by the Navy to escort Tian Shangjin was very hidden. Bayou nodded. He had no intention of letting Tian Shangjin go. Then we'll leave first. Long doesn't want to stay here any longer. Don't worry, I haven't told you my conditions yet. How could Bayou not know that Long wanted to run away? That, you said. Long said awkwardly. In fact, my conditions are very simple. I want your revolutionary army to take action for me unconditionally, but don't worry, I won't let you massacre ordinary people. After all, I am not a devil. Bayou said with a smile. No problem. If you need anything, please contact me anytime. Long quickly agreed. Compared with dozens of devil fruits, such conditions are really much simpler. That's it, you can go. Bayou waved his hand. After the conditions were negotiated, he had said all he needed to say. As for how far the Revolutionary Army will go in the future, it depends on Long himself. Long nodded and glanced at Luffy. Son, work hard, Dad is waiting for the day you become the Pirate King. After saying that, the dragon took the bear and left. I will definitely become the Pirate King. Luffy clenched his fists and shouted loudly. Pirate King, it's getting late, go to bed early, there's still a game tomorrow. Bye. You said with a smile. The others also tidied up and went to rest. Anilla came to Bayou and said those three guys have been far away, and that Doflamingo. It's okay, they can't make big waves. Bayou shook his head. The strength of the three disasters was pretty good. But there was still a big gap compared to Kaido. Then he went back to rest. The next day. The arena is already crowded. All participating members of Group B are also ready to fight. It's just that the number of people in this battle was significantly smaller. The tall and fat Quinn also came to the ring wearing a mask. Get rid of the miscellaneous fish first, and then kill you. Zoro said coldly. I've long wanted to kick your green algae head away. Sanji showed no sign of weakness. It seems that the players are full of fighting spirit today, and I hope to see an even more exciting battle than yesterday. Without further ado, the game begins. As Diamante's words fell, all the contestants immediately started to move. However, they did not attack each other, but attacked Zoro, Sanji, and Jinbei. And Quinn sat down directly. On the stage, he had no intention of taking action. In this case, let's see who can knock down the most first. Sanji said. Okay, Jinbei, please help me remember it. Zoro said, taking out 3 knives and rushing out. Jinbei looked at the 2 people who rushed out and was speechless for a while. He could only sit on the ground helplessly and wait for the battle to end. As for counting these 2 people, only fools he can do it. This also formed a strange scene. On the circular ring, everyone else was fighting. But there were 2 people sitting on the edge of the ring watching the fight. Jinbei and Quinn's eyes finally met. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 143. Horrible. This is the strength of the Straw Hat Pirates. Pirate hunter Roronoa Zoro has a bounty of 1 billion belly. Blackfoot Sanji has a reward of 800 million belly. The fat blue man sitting there is Kai Jinbei. There is a reward of 640 million baileys. Who is the other fat man wearing a mask? I don't know, it seems like he's also hiding his identity. This battle is so exciting. The audience was very excited watching the battle in the ring. They usually only see such big pirates in reward orders. It is very rare to see them fighting now. The fight in the ring was completely one-sided. No one is a match for Zoro and Sanji. One after another, they were knocked down by 2 people. This kind of battle is too boring, let me increase the difficulty for you. Quinn said as he fired an ammunition. Bang! The ammunition exploded. Thick smoke instantly filled the entire ring. Careful! The smoke is poisonous. Jinbei shouted quickly. Zoro and Sanji also immediately retreated to the edge of the ring. Water escape water formation wall. Jinbei clasped his hands together, and the water flow swirled around the 3 of them, blocking the smoke outside. Be careful, he is Plague Quinn, one of Kaido's 3 plagues. Jinbei recognized Quinn. Such a fat figure, coupled with this method of poisoning. The first thing he thought of was Quinn. Roar! A group of people who looked like evil spirits rushed out of the smoke. They went straight to Sand People Come. Found it? But it's too late, this is a frozen infectious virus developed by me personally, Ice Ghost. Quinn smiled proudly. You're done. Heretic. The Secret of Three Swords Style, Black Dragon Scroll. Zoran directly released a whirlwind-like slash, sweeping all the poisonous gas into the sky. Devil's Feet. Sanji rushed out in an instant and put his foot on Quinn's mouth. The cigar hanging in Quinn's mouth was kicked into his mouth by Sanji. Bang! Quinn took 3 or 4 steps back in succession. He didn't stop until the edge of the ring. Poof! Such strong kicking skills, Blackfoot Sanji. No, I should call you Vinsmoke Sanji. Quinn spit out the cigar in his mouth, and the injuries on his face were healed and disappeared visibly. How do you know this? Sanji's expression changed. The last thing he wanted to mention was his home. I know a lot. Your father is currently preparing to find a marriage for you. It is estimated that the negotiation is about to be completed now. When Quinn spoke, he put his hands behind his back and took out a handful of virus ammunition again. However, you may not have the chance to go. Quinn finished speaking and threw out all the virus ammunition in his hand. Boom, a series of explosions occurred. Sanji! Zoran roared, and immediately swung a slash to disperse the poisonous mist. Ah! My body has turned into a monster. It hurts. It hurts. Ah! A group of monster-like guys with 2 horns rushed directly towards Zoro. Sanji's body was also frosted quickly, but with his domineering power, he could resist for a while and would not immediately turn into a monster like others. It's useless. After your domineering energy is exhausted, you will still become a monster. Quinn looked at Sanji with a proud face. If you agree to join the Beast Pirates, I will give you the antidote immediately, and your 2 partners will be safe and sound. Haha, this little poison wants to kill me. Sanji smiled disdainfully. He himself has a strong resistance to poison due to his god-level cooking skills. Coupled with Chopper's medical skills, he is really not afraid of this virus at all. Jinbei, Green Algae Head, don't be touched by those monsters, otherwise it will be contagious. Sanji shouted loudly. You are really loyal to still care about your partner now, but let me see how long you can hold on. Quinn said and rushed directly to Sanji. Time is enough to kill you. Sanji's feet burst into flames. Devil's Feet. Bang! The fists and kicks were combined, and the powerful shockwave instantly shook away the poisonous gas in the ring. The audience also saw the monsters on the ring. Sanji-kun. You retreat and rest. Seize the time for treatment. Quinn's virus cannot be underestimated. Leave it to us. Jinbei knows how powerful Plague Quinn is. If you are not careful, people will really die. It's okay, there's no problem in killing this bastard. Sanji doesn't want to let this go. This bastard dares to use poison, so he doesn't have to hold back. Still want to kill me? Quinn smiled disdainfully. He was not afraid of Sanji in the first place, let alone Sanji who was now poisoned. Devil's Wind Kick, Minced Meat Kick. Bang! Quinn flew out directly. It can actually burst out with such powerful power. Quinn was also a little surprised. His body changed rapidly. Brachiosaurus form. Phew! Sanji also began to breathe heavily. Water escape, water breaking wave. Jinbei immediately launched an attack on the enlarged Quinn. The sharp water blade scratched the skin on Quinn's neck, but it was unable to cut deeper. After all, Jinbei's time for water release was still very short. He can reach this level now. It's rare. Sanji also rushed forward immediately. Bang! Quinn in the form of a Brachiosaurus disappeared from the spot. He quickly fell from the sky. Boom! A huge pit appeared in the ring. Sanji barely dodged the attack. But the Ice Ghost virus has entered his body and caused his body to freeze. Now he can't even use half of his strength. Zoro! Take Sanji away and leave him to me. Jinbei saw that Sanji couldn't hold on any longer. Quinn can become one of the 3 plagues, and the poison of is very dangerous. Be careful yourself. After Zoro eliminated the last ice ghost infected person, he directly picked up Sanji and quickly left the ring. Don't even think about running. Quinn jumped into the air, head first, and dived down again. Brachiosaurus bomb. Jinbei clasped his hands together and shouted loudly. Water release, water dragon bite explosion. A huge stream of water rose into the sky. Quinn was startled, and it was too late to avoid it. Boom. Quinn's head collided with the current. Sea water is the nemesis of ability users, let alone Jinbei's water escape. Quinn went directly into the water flow and wanted to rush out of the water. But how could Jinbei let go of such a good opportunity? The water flow quickly gathered together to form a huge water dragon. After the water dragon spun in a circle, it hit the ring directly. Up. Boom. The ring shattered again. Quinn turned into his true form, lying on the ground in a very embarrassed state. Get the antidote. Quinn. Jinbei was worried about Sanji's danger, so he directly asked for the antidote. Ahem, I'll give it to you. Halfway through his words, Quinn took out a gun and shot Jinbei without any hesitation. Boom. Green poisonous mist shrouded Jinbei. Zombie poison. I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 144. Jinbei. Zoro yelled. He was holding Sanji now and couldn't do anything. If you care about your companion so much, you should go down together to accompany him. Quinn immediately turned into an orc form and rushed towards Sauron. Water escape, water formation wall. The huge water curtain blocked Quinn's. You are okay. Quinn was a little shocked when he saw Jinbei safe and sound. Even Kaido was a little afraid of the virus he developed. Jinbei didn't have anything wrong with him. One of the three major signatures of the Yonko Beasts pirates is also the frog in the well. Do you know how vast this world is? Jinbei was very disdainful. After he joined the Straw Hat Pirates, he gained the magical ability to escape from water. He spent time with Baiyu every day, and his vision completely changed. If it were said before, he would still have a few feelings for Quinn. Very scared. But now, he can only laugh. Court death. Quinn roared and rushed directly towards Jinbei. Jinbei stood there, motionless. Bang. Quinn's fist directly penetrated Jinbei's body. If you want to kill me, let Kaido do it. Water escape, water prison technique. After Jinbei finished speaking, his body instantly turned into a ball of water, wrapping Quinn in it. Jinbei's abilities are really effective against espers. Nami sighed very much. Controlling water to fight is simply the nemesis of ability users. He can also create clones, and combined with the nature of Jinping fish people, it is simply a perfect skill. Robin analyzed calmly from the side. Too bad I can only transform. Wei lowered her head, feeling very depressed. Don't think that the transformation technique is weak, it's just that your imagination is not strong enough. Bye. Yu shook his head. Any skill I give you, if you can use it skillfully, your strength will improve by leaps and bounds. The skill of transformation is very powerful, but Wei didn't make good use of it. Moreover, the skill of transformation itself is not a frontal attack skill. At this moment, a figure rushed towards the ring. Boom. The ring began to shatter instantly. Jinbei had no choice but to remove the water prison technique. Fire disaster, Ember. Jinbei stood on the water, his eyes narrowed slightly. Where there is water, he is really not afraid of these two guys. The three disasters of the beast pirates. Oh my god. What kind of battle is this? The two major disasters of inflammation and epidemic have already arrived, so will drought also come. Will the beast pirates also come to fight for the phantom beast devil fruit? The attraction of fantasy beast species is really great. The audience in the stands were also frightened. These big pirates with a bounty of more than 1 billion appeared one after another. Even Diamante, who was in charge of the commentary, didn't know what to say. He didn't know any of these people. Don't dare to offend. Not to mention him, even Doflamingo doesn't dare to challenge him directly. Doflamingo, why don't you come out yet? Do you want me to destroy your arena? Jin said coldly. Hey, breaking the rules and still being so reasonable is worthy of being the three disasters of the beast pirates. Doflamingo appeared and said. Hand over the devil fruit. Yin said directly. He had already appeared anyway, and he didn't want to waste time. Moreover, he had almost seen the strength of the Straw Hat Pirates. It was not easy to deal with them. However, he wanted to take them away. It's not difficult to get the Phantom Beast Devil Fruit. The game is not over yet. If I give the Devil Fruit to you, I can't explain it to anyone else. Doflamingo spread his hands with a helpless expression. That is. Since it is a competition, we must respect the competition. Even the Beast's pirates wouldn't dare to go against so many pirates like us. If we lose the game, we have no complaints, but now if we lose the game, we will steal it. This is a bit unreasonable. Have the Beast's pirates lost their face? We have hundreds of pirate groups here, and there is also the Straw Hat Pirates, one of the 5 emperors. We are not afraid of you beast pirates. Get out of here. Otherwise, wait for the captain of the bottom spaceship to shoot you away. The pirates immediately started arguing. If it were them, they would never dare to be so arrogant in the face of the 3 disasters of the beast's pirates. But now they have more people. And most importantly, now there is an emperor of the sea here. Ahem. Quinn woke up. Ember. Let me go. I'm going to kill that damn fat blue guy. Quinn's face was filled with anger. One of his 3 calamities was actually defeated by a fat blue man. This is something that cannot be tolerated. You are no match for him. Go and deal with those noisy pirates with Jack, and leave the rest to me. Jin said and threw Quinn aside. Brother Quinn. Jack said hello very politely. The 3 disasters have indeed come. Don't be afraid of them. No matter how strong they are, there are only 3 of them. Yes, everyone joins forces to kill them. In this way we can be famous in the sea. This is an opportunity to fight against the Yonko pirates. Leave it alone. The pirates were very excited. Hundreds of them rushed directly towards Jack and Quinn. Seeing this, the audience dared not continue to watch the battle, so they quickly turned around and ran away. Lord Bayou, I'll give the devil fruit to you first, I'm afraid I won't be able to hold it. Doflamingo threw a box directly to Bayou. Doflamingo. How dare you betray Lord Kaido? Jin was very angry when he saw the devil fruit falling into Bayou's hands. Hey, I'm not a member of the Beast's Pirates, and I only have a cooperative relationship with Kaido. Now that you have broken the rules, I will naturally not cooperate with you anymore. Doflamingo said with a smile. You wanna die? Jin roared and rushed towards Doflamingo quickly. Bang! Doflamingo was kicked out directly. After Bayou saw the devil fruit, he absorbed it instantly without any hesitation. He asked Vivi and Na, neither May nor the 2 wanted to take the devil fruit. So he absorbed it directly. After the absorption was completed, the devil fruit immediately withered and shriveled up. Doflamingo. How dare you lie to me? Bye. You roared angrily and threw the devil fruit over. His eyes were full of murderous intent. Doflamingo was stunned when he saw the shriveled fruit. Where is the devil fruit? I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 145. Dover. Little Lord. The Cottars of the Don Quixote family quickly came to Doflamingo's side. Where are the devil fruits? Doflamingo's face was full of murderous intent. He clearly put the fruit in this box. But it turned into a shriveled and rotten fruit. This is impossible. The devil fruit has always been in my custody and has never left my side. How could it be dropped? Torbil was also dumbfounded. It was obviously given to Doflamingo by him himself. How could it turn into a shriveled and rotten fruit in the blink of an eye? Bayou. It's you. Doflamingo looked at Bayou with hatred. If you want to start a war between our Straw Hat Pirates and the Beast Pirates, you will get the advantage from behind. You really want to be more beautiful than you are. Bayou sneered, originally I wanted to give you a chance, but it's a pity that I gave you the chance and you were useless. Bayou, we don't want to fight with you. Please hand over the Suzaku fruit. Our Beasts Pirates and your Straw Hat Pirates will not invade each other. Jin said with cold eyes. Who gave you the courage to talk to me like this? After Bayou's words fell, he appeared in front of Yin instantly. Bang! With one punch, Yin was knocked down from the air to the audience stand. Captain, you decide whether to start a war or not. Bayou landed on the ground and looked at Luffy. Chopper, how is Sanji? Luffy asked. Nothing happens anymore, just take a rest. Chopper said. If you hurt our partners, you have to pay the price. I do not care who you are. Beast Pirates, right? Since you want to start a war, then let the war begin. Luffy said coldly. How dare you actually declare war? Yin was also a little surprised. He didn't expect that Luffy would actually dare to declare war. There are only a dozen people in the Straw Hat Pirates. How dare they start a war with the 4 emperors who have tens of thousands of them? We are just 4 emperors, our goal is to become the king. Why don't we dare to go to war? Bayou sneered. He had never put the 4 emperors in his eyes. The only one he could care about was the red-haired Shanks of the Face Fruit. That guy's strength is a mystery, and his identity is also a mystery. However, just care a little bit. What a loud tone. Don't think that just because someone calls you the 5 emperors, you really are the 5 emperors. Bounties do not represent strength. Jin was very angry. This was the first time he was seen so clearly. He pulled out the long knife from his waist, and the blade burned with flames. With a knife? That's good. A smile appeared on Zoro's face, he drew his knife and rushed forward. Ah! Do not come. Help! Help me! I don't want to die yet. It's so cold, I'm going to turn into a monster. The pirates who fought with Quinn and Jack were all infected by the Ice Ghost virus and turned into monsters. Destroy this country. Ha ha ha. Quinn was very excited. He wanted to turn the entire country into monsters. Stupid fat pig. God's sanction. Enilu directly attacked Quinn. The scope of God's punishment was very wide, and Jack and the monsters were hit together. The monsters disappeared instantly. Jack and Quinn crawled out in embarrassment. But the 2 of them, there are no obvious scars on their bodies. These 2 guys are ancient devil fruit users, and they are rough-skinned and thick-bodied. This kind of attack is fatal to ordinary people, but for them, it has no effect. Big. The thunder fruit is really violent. Jack twisted his neck and took out 2 scythe-like short knives from his back. He rushed directly towards an arrow. Leave it to that big fat guy. I want to avenge Sanji. Luffy rushed out directly. Don't you want to fight? Bye. You complained. There are only 3 people in the 3 disasters, and now Zoro, Luffy and Enilu all have opponents. The remaining people sat down and prepared to watch the show. Dover, what do we do? Torbil was completely dumbfounded and didn't know what to do now. Withdraw. Doflamingo gritted his teeth and said. He knew that Dressrosa could not be saved unless he was sure to defeat Bayou. But he knew very well that he was definitely not Bayou's opponent. Doflamingo is running away. Nami said quickly. It's okay, someone will stop them. Bayou's words fell. Lugo appeared in front of everyone in the Don Quixote family. Doflamingo. You can't run away. Why is it him? Isn't he Doflamingo's subordinate? Usopp asked in confusion. There was a time, right, their relationship was a bit complicated. Bayou didn't bother to talk about Lugo and Doflamingo's nonsense. Hey, you still want to stop me? Doflamingo doesn't dare to fight against Bayou and the three disasters. But he really doesn't take Lugo's strength seriously. Lord Bayou. I can prove my worth. I can take Doflamingo's place in the dark world, and I can guarantee that I will do even better than him. Lugo ignored Doflamingo and shouted loudly at Bayou. Bay, it's just you. Doflamingo laughed, and then the smile disappeared instantly. You really don't know what you can do. Bang. Lugo was kicked out. If you want to go, and you should also gain some practical experience. Bye. You said, Jinbei, please don't go. If you go, they won't have anything to play with. Nami, Vivi, and Robin rarely take action, and their strength progress is also a bit slow. Of course, this is for the Straw Hats. Chopper, Brooke, and Frankie also rarely fight. That is, Usopp is a little better, but it was all done by Yan Chuangying. The Don Quixote family is not strong, but it is not weak either. It is just suitable for them to practice. Bayou. You will pay the price for your arrogance. Doflamingo gritted his teeth angrily, very angry. He never thought that one day he would become someone else's whetstone. Just you. Nami smiled disdainfully. Did she really think they were vases? Eat a railgun from me. Boom. The orange beam, carrying a powerful shockwave, rushed into the crowd of the Don Quixote family. It seems that you have been underestimated. I will give you a hand. Immortal method. Thousands of real hands. 1,000-hand Guanyin. Densely dense arms appeared behind Robin, and they quickly came together to form an arm comparable to that of a giant. And the number of arms, there were 800 if not 1,000. What the hell does one hand have to do with nothing? The difference? However, they had no chance to think. Because the dense fists had already fallen. Boom. The entire arena began to tremble. It seemed like it was about to collapse. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 146. Asshole. I'm going to kill you. Doflamingo was extremely angry. He underestimated the strength of these two women. Little Lord. Leave us alone. Go quickly. Live. You will definitely become the Pirate King. Monet spread his wings and flew into the air, and snowflakes immediately began to float in the air. Dover, I can't accompany you in the future, but I believe you will become the Pirate King, so take sugar with you. Leave us alone. Torpal stood up on crutches, the mucus on his body kept rolling. Dover will avenge us in the future. Diamante gritted his teeth, already realizing in his heart. Dover. Go quickly. Pika's sharp voice sounded, and his body quickly merged with the stones on the ground, transforming into a huge stone giant, blocking Doflamingo's body. You. Doflamingo clenched his fists and his eyes were blood red. These people are his family. How could he be willing to leave them alone and escape for his life alone? Since you are going to die? Then let's die together. Doflamingo roared, and a figure that looked exactly like Doflamingo rushed into the sky. Bang! The head shattered, and countless threads erupted. These threads fell like meteors, covering the entire Dressrosa surrounded him. It was like a birdcage. Doflamingo's strongest move, the birdcage, was activated. He would never have used this move unless he was truly desperate. Dover. You. Torrible and other officials looked at Doflamingo in surprise. The birdcage is activated, which means that everyone will die together. The Quixote family. We now declare war on the Straw Hat Pirates. Doflamingo shouted loudly. Now that the young master has declared war, let's stand. Let them see the strength of our Don Quixote family. Diamante roared, and rushed forward with his sword. If war is declared, then I can take action, yo ho ho ho. Come out. Skeleton warrior. Brooke directly began to summon skeleton warriors. Too many people died in this arena, and hundreds of people died just now. These are all his soldiers. What ability is this? Skeleton summons skeleton. No matter what he is, go to hell. The Don Quixote family is not something you can defeat. With the encouragement of Doflamingo and the top cotters. Those who had just been knocked down also stood up and fought against the skeleton summoned by Brooke. Let's give it a hand. Then I will cut off all your hands. Doflamingo looked at Robin angrily. With a wave of his hand, the thread went straight towards Robin. Click. A pair of big scissors suddenly appeared and cut all the threads directly. If you still want to hurt our sister Robin, I will cut you off first. Wai looked at Doflamingo bitterly. Transform into female Wai. Doflamingo narrowed his eyes. The strength of these women has completely exceeded his expectations. If you underestimate a woman, you will suffer a big loss. Robin crossed his arms, and densely packed arms emerged from Doflamingo's feet. Nami took out a 50 belly coin with a distressed look on her face, and flicked it. Railgun. Boom. Orange beam head straight towards Doflamingo with a powerful shock wave. Dover. Pika's sharp voice sounded. The stone giants stood in front of Doflamingo. Stone walls appeared one after another to resist the orange beam. But in front of the railgun, these stone walls were like tissue paper. The beam penetrated directly. Pika's stone giant. Asshole. Doflamingo roared, and directly activated the Fruit Awakening ability. Dense white lines rose up, blocking the railgun. However, Pika's heart had been pierced. I want you to die. Dolphram roared angrily, and everything around him turned into white lines, sweeping out like a huge wave. Super. Frankie laser. Boom. Frankie's voice sounded, and the laser shot out. Countless white lines instantly turned into ashes. Highwind Babo. Doflamingo pressed his hands on the ground, and the ground under everyone's feet immediately turned into white lines. Frankie flew directly into the air, and Robin pulled the wings behind Nami and flew up. Vivi immediately turned into the bird avoided the white line attacking from the ground. Brooke also used magic to float in the air. Only Chopper and Usopp were left on the ground. Usopp didn't know where he was hiding. Chopper looked around and found everyone flew up, but he was the only one who was still on the ground. His eyes were so scared that he almost popped out of his head. The pet of the Straw Hats, I'll take action on you first. Thousands of arrows pierce the heart feather strike thread. Doflamingo crossed his arms, and thousands of threads wrapped with armed and domineering colors surrounded Chopper like wings. Jump enhancement. Chopper quickly jumped into the air to avoid the attack. But the dense threads also followed. Scalpel. Chopper was so frightened that he used his hands and feet. The green scalpel quickly cut the white thread that rushed up. The solid white thread was cut as easily as cabbage. Brooke, who was just about to save Chopper, was stunned for a moment and pulled out his sword to try. He cut the white thread, but it was as hard as iron and couldn't be cut at all. But Chopper cut it off directly with his hand, which was amazing. Doflamingo was also a little confused, and he wrapped the armed Haki. The thread was cut off easily. And it was a pet that he had never looked at. Chopper himself was stunned. He just used the scalpel in the palm magic technique in desperation. He didn't expect that can actually cut these white lines. You are done. Chopper turned into a human form and rushed directly towards Doflamingo. He wasn't afraid of these white lines anyway. Shield white line. Doflamingo quickly blocked Chopper. The white threads wrapped around the armed Haki were easily cut off. He didn't dare to let Chopper get close. Snow Bunny. Monet quickly waved his wings and released multiple snowballs that resembled white rabbits, heading straight for Chopper. Don't forget we exist. Robin crossed his arms, and many hands grew on Monet's wings and legs. Click. Monet's body became two halves. The natural system is really troublesome. Although Robin's armored Haki has also awakened, his Haki is still very weak. It is still somewhat difficult to directly harm the natural body. Frankie Iron Fist. Frankie stretched out his fist, but instead of punching it out, he started breathing fire. The rabbit-shaped snowball melted immediately. How despicable. It's obviously a fire breather, but it's said to be an iron fist. Monet was very angry. If she hadn't discovered it in time, she would have been drowned in the fire. Damn you despicable robots. Half a month of burial. Diamante swung his sword, and the powerful slash went straight to Frankie. Frankie shield. Frankie's arm turned into a large shield to block his whole body. Dang. The slash was blocked. It's time to bring out my secret weapon. Frankie said, putting his hands behind his back. I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 147. Secret Weapon. Amazing, Luffy's eyes lit up immediately while he was fighting. Chopper was the same, his eyes were shining with excitement. Even Usopp, who was hiding, looked at Frankie with bright eyes. How dare you get distracted while fighting me? Quinn roared angrily and hit Luffy with a punch. Bang. Asshole. Don't stop me from watching Frankie's secret weapon. Luffy was angry, shocking, open. Third gear. Two huge arms were entangled with armed domineering energy, and there was a blue gas floating on their bodies. Day Tiger go down the mountain. Boom. The huge white tiger-shaped shockwave instantly submerged Quinn. A huge hole was instantly punched out in the arena. And there was no trace of Quinn. And Luffy turned directly into a child the moment he released the state. Brother Quinn. Court death. Jack roared, transformed directly into the mammoth form, and rushed towards Luffy. It's almost time, let's try my newly developed moves. Anilu finished his words and closed his eyes. Divine Punishment Thunder God's Sword. Thunder light flashed in the sky and quickly condensed into giant swords flashing with thunder light. Fall. The thunder and lightning giant sword in the sky soared into the sky. Jack. Get out of the way. Jin yelled and was about to go up to save Jack. Your opponent is me. Zoro stopped Yin directly. After the fight, he found that Yin's swordsmanship was not strong at all, but his strength and speed were very fast, and he also had fire attacks. This was of great help to him in improving his swordsmanship. Naturally, he would not let go of this hard-earned partner easily. At this time, the Thunder Giant sword had fallen. Poof! The mammoth turned into a hedgehog. But the mammoth did not stop and was still running. The sword of Thunder God is not that simple. Anilu's voice fell. All the thunder in the sky rushed towards the mammoth. Boom! The huge thunder directly bombarded the mammoth. The thunder sword exploded instantly. The powerful impact directly blew away the smaller Luffy. Flew out. Ah! Bayou, save me! Little Luffy shouted. Bayou shook his head helplessly. He stretched out a hand, the 37th binding star, the hanging star. A white hammock quickly appeared in the sky and caught little Luffy. Amazing! So soft! Luffy jumped up on the hammock excitedly. but Jack had transformed back into his original form and fell to the ground motionless, with blood staining the ground red. Jack! Jin roared and pushed Sauron back with great force. He wanted to rush over to save people. Now that their battle is over, let's end it too. The secret of 3 sword styles, Tsuji of the 6 paths. One of Yin's wings was cut off instantly. Damn it! Jin gritted his teeth and roared. The flames wrapped and covered his wings. They formed a flame wing and soared into the sky. He escaped alone. Where to run? Enilu is about to pursue him immediately. Forget it, let him go back and report the news. Bai Yu said. Hearing Bai Yu's voice, Enilu stopped chasing him. At this time, Frankie also took out his secret weapon. So disappointed. The excitement on Luffy's face immediately disappeared. Too ugly. Chopper complained. Frankie! Now is not the time to be funny. Nami roared loudly. She was originally looking forward to Frankie's secret weapon. After all, she has also seen the power of the steel suit. Who would have thought of taking out a flashlight? Hey, this is your secret weapon. Doflamingo also laughed. He was also frightened and broke into a cold sweat. The funny effect is good, you might as well suffer death. Diamante roared angrily, the sword in his hand suddenly lengthened, and he stabbed Frankie quickly. Frankie's lightsaber. Buzz. With Frankie's roar, the large flashlight in his hand directly turned into a beam of light. Then he swung it down. After Diamante's long sword came into contact with the lightsaber, the high temperature of the lightsaber melted instantly. The lightsaber fell, and Diamante's body split into 2 halves and fell to the ground. Diamante! Doflamingo's eyes widened and he exclaimed. A huge crack was cut into the ruined arena with this sword. So handsome! Luffy's eyes glowed and he jumped up on the hammock. Amazing! I want a lightsaber too. Chopper's little face turned red with excitement. Super! Frankie put away his lightsaber and began to assume his classic pose. Frankie is so handsome. Usopp, who was hiding aside, stood up and shouted. It's you. Torble immediately discovered Usopp and launched an attack directly. Frankie! Help me! Usopp quickly asked for help. He knew that Bai Yu would definitely not save him at this time. He could only ask Frankie for help, mainly because Frankie's lightsaber was long enough. Sorry, the lightsaber is no longer usable. Frankie also knows Usopp's situation. As long as Yan Shuangying's personality comes out, that disgusting snot-nosed man is definitely no match. No one else has any intention to save Usopp. You bunch of bastards. The last word has not yet been spoken. Usopp was immediately wrapped in slime. If you don't want him to die, just stand still and don't move. Torble shouted, squeezing Usopp's neck. In fact, you should tie up his hands and feet. It is very dangerous to grab his neck. Bai Yu said very calmly. If Usopp was completely controlled directly, he might be able to threaten them. But now, just pinching the neck. Do you really not know that it will kill people? You should listen to him, but that's useless. Even if you control my hands and feet, I have 100 ways to kill you. Usopp's eyes completely changed. The fear disappeared, leaving only the cold murderous intent. You. Toripole uttered only one word. There was a bloody hole between his eyebrows. Slowly fell to the ground. Torble. Doflamingo's eyes were blood red, and his men were dying one after another. He was completely crazy. 16 rounds of sacred bullets, God's killing. Doflamingo roared angrily, and 16 strands of white threads completely covered with armed and domineering colors were shot out like Usopp. I cut it. Wai Wei turned into scissors again. She wanted to cut the white thread. But this time Doflamingo used almost all his domineering force. The white thread was so hard that it was impossible to cut it. Immortal method, thousands of real hands. Thousand hand Guanyin. Robin appeared in front of Usopp and directly activated his ultimate move. His huge palm blocked Doflamingo's white line attack. But after the contact, the palm was immediately defeated. He had no resistance. Robin. Just hold on. Chopper turned into a human form, his hands formed the shape of a calyx, and then slowly moved to his waist. Energy light balls appeared between his palms. At the same time, Chopper's arms continued to bulge, which was already exaggerated. Muscles are more exaggerated. Get out of your way. Chopper yelled at the doctor. Robin and Usopp quickly escaped. Turtle Pai Chi Gong. As Chopper's voice fell, he pushed hard with both hands. The energy beam struck out. Doflamingo's 16 holy bullets were instantly destroyed. However, the energy beam did not weaken at all, and directly hit Doflamingo. Brother drowned. I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 148. The arena was already extremely dilapidated. This turtle Kigong directly destroyed most of them. Doflamingo was blocking the ground, his pink feather cloak in tatters. The original glasses were also broken. The birdcage in the sky also disappeared. However, Chopper also fainted due to excessive consumption. When did Chopper become so strong? Luffy said in surprise. Chopper has always worked very hard, but you didn't see it? Chopper has completely mastered the first skill, but you haven't. Baiyu looked at Luffy speechlessly. But he also knew that it is really not easy to fully master the 8-gate Dungia formation. The requirements of the 8-door Dungia formation are too high. If I hadn't used the domineering body protection last time, my body would have been broken. Luffy was also helpless. It was too difficult to activate the 8 gates of Dungia. You have already activated it once. As long as you fully understand the state at that time, you can understand it. You don't have to activate it before you can understand it. Moreover, you should also increase your exercise and learn from Sauron every day. Baiyu shook his head. Luffy was just too playful. If he had practiced as hard as Zoro, his strength would definitely not be what it is now. All right. Luffy lowered his head and said with some reluctance. He knew that he would have to practice hard next and it would be no fun. Okay, it's over, let's go. Baiyu said and stood up to leave. The things here have been settled, and what is left is the position of the king of this country. King Liku is a good choice. Although the old guy may not be very obedient, but at least he will not be ungrateful. Little Lord. Weeavoo. A little girl ran to Doflamingo's side. Where did the child come from? Nami asked in surprise. She is not a child, she is a special cotter of the Don Quixote family, and all the toys in this country are transformed by her. Baiyu recognized Granu at a glance. This little girl is a dangerous person. Her ability is simply a bug. If she encounters it, she will be dead. What? Everyone was very surprised. They couldn't believe that this cute little girl in front of them was the culprit who turned this country into a country of toys. You all deserve to die. Sutang looked at the Straw Hats with hatred. Toy army. Kill them for me. As Sugar roared angrily, all the dense toys rushed in and surrounded them tightly. It seems that since you never showed up, you turned everyone into toys, right? Baiyu looked at Sugar. Yes, don't you want to save this kingdom? These people are all common people here. If you attack them, they will all die. If you don't attack, you will die. Satang's little face was full of ferociousness. Hey! Baiyu sighed and said a few words to Wai Wei beside him. Please do not. Wai Wei looked embarrassed. Don't you want to save this country? Now is your chance, go ahead and you can do it. Baiyu smiled. He thought of a trick to deal with Sugar. All right. Wei reluctantly agreed and disappeared from the spot. What did you say to Wei? Nami asked very curiously. You'll soon find out, just watch. Bai smiled mysteriously. So should we beat these toys? Enilu frowned. No need to fight, it will be fine soon. Bai's words fell. Wei appeared in front of Shaitang, and then, turned into an extremely ugly and ferocious face. Ah! Shaitang's eyes almost popped out of his eyes. After screaming, he fainted. Passed by. As Sugar fainted, the toys also stopped. They quickly turned into human beings one after another. Some of them were pirates, some were palace guards, and most were ordinary people. There were many more. Animals mixed in. I've changed back. I finally became a different person. Woohoo! Very good. King Liku. It's King Liku. There was a commotion in the crowd. Kill him. It is because of him that this country has become like this. Unexpectedly, he is still alive. Kill him. Revenge for our family. Many people are about to rush forward and kill King Liku. Stop it all. You have all misunderstood His Majesty King Riku. His Majesty was controlled by Doflamingo before he did such a thing. Don't you understand now? A one-legged warrior shouted loudly. Cyrus. Cyrus was immediately recognized. After all, he was a legend in the arena. The matter is settled, it's time for us to leave. Baiyu doesn't like this atmosphere. Please wait. King Riku shouted quickly. He quickly walked in front of the straw hats. Plop. King Riku knelt directly on the ground. His Majesty. The guards were shocked. Although King Liku had abdicated long ago, in their hearts, King Liku will always be the king of this country. Thank you for saving this kingdom. Thank you all. King Liku said as he lowered his head and put his hands on the ground. Seeing this, the other people also knelt on the ground one after another to thank. Although they have become toys, they still have their own thoughts. Who knows who saved him? Killed them. Get up, we are pirates, not heroes, and saving you is just a way. Baiyu shook his head. He was really not used to this feeling of collective kowtow. Uncle, you are the king, are you having a banquet? Luffy immediately said. I am no longer. Your Majesty King Liku, you will always be our king. Cyrus directly interrupted King Liku. His Majesty King Liku. His Majesty King Liku. His Majesty King Liku. Everyone shouted in unison. Well, in this case, I will temporarily take the position of king. After a while, I will choose a successor. After all, I am old. King Liku stood up, with tears in his eyes. Father! A little girl ran over. Rebecca! Cyrus shouted excitedly. The father and daughter hugged each other tightly. Uncle King, is there a banquet? Luffy asked again. Have. King Liku said quickly. Looking at the soldiers and people around him, as well as Cyrus and his daughter, he couldn't control the tears in his eyes. Ha ha ha. Very good. After the fight, you can have a party. Luffy jumped up excitedly. And at this moment, a figure fell from the sky. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 149. Boom. The figure fell heavily to the ground. This person is no one else. It is one of the three disasters that just escaped, Yin. It's just that Jin has no breath now. Who did it? Zoro frowned. He saw that the wounds on Yin's body should be knife wounds. The people above. Baiyu pointed to the sky. Everyone immediately looked at the sky. Then they saw many ships appearing in the sky. Flying ship? Wrong. That's just an ordinary pirate ship, how could it possibly fly? Many. I've never seen that pirate flag. Bayou shook his head, you must have never seen him before, because he was a great pirate more than 20 years ago, a legendary pirate as famous as Roger and Whitebeard. Golden Lion Shiji. Gee ha ha ha, I can't believe there are still people who remember me. The Golden Lion's laughter came from the air. People also slowly floated down. Golden Lion. Run. His Majesty King Liku. Go quickly. The people were immediately frightened and fled in all directions. The soldiers also immediately protected King Liku. Uncle, why do you have the rudder stuck on your head? Luffy asked doubtfully. Garp's grandson really makes people angry. The Golden Lion glanced at Luffy, his eyes unblinking. He was also chased by Garp back then, and was imprisoned by Garp. Now Luffy directly talks about his pain. If only he could be happy. Weird. I advise you to leave quickly, your two old enemies are here. Bayou knows very well that the two old guys, Warring States and Garp, haven't left yet. I guess these two old guys should know that the Golden Lion will appear here. Everyone who stays here. Sure enough, these old guys are all old foxes. What? The Golden Lion was stunned for a moment, unable to react. Shiki. The Kappa people arrived before they even heard the news. Shiki. You can't run away. The voice of the Warring States period also came later. Cap. Warring States. The Golden Lion roared angrily when he saw these two old men. I'll just tell you to leave quickly. You probably won't be able to leave now. Bayou spread his hands and said helplessly. Bayou. Don't forget, you are also a pirate, and they will not let you go. Let's work together to kill them. Golden Lion was also a little nervous. He was under great pressure when facing one of these two old guys alone. But if he faced two of them, the outcome would be that he would definitely be arrested. Catch us? Bye. You smiled, Luffy, what do you call these two people? Grandpa, second wife. Luffy answered very honestly. Pfft. Bastard boy. Don't scream. Zhanguo's face turned dark instantly. He would not do this even if he called him second master. Calling second wife is too much. Ha ha ha. Shiki. Just stop running. This world is no longer suitable for you. Come back to prison with us. Garp laughed. He was quite satisfied with Luffy's title of Sengoku. You'd better think clearly. There are more than a dozen floating islands 10,000 meters above the sky. If you dare to attack me, these islands will fall here. The Golden Lion immediately shouted. Shiki. What on earth are you going to do? Wouldn't it be better to just be your legend? Warring States said coldly. You two old guys are still hanging out on the ocean, why can't I? The Golden Lion sneered, do you think I've been hiding my whereabouts for these 20 years to avoid you? Golden Lion, don't think about making trouble, I won't let you go. Garp clenched his fists. He was also a little afraid. The Golden Lion is a complete madman. If more than a dozen floating islands are really allowed to fall on Dressrosa, then this place will be doomed. Garp, your son became the leader of the Revolutionary Army and your grandson became a pirate. You have lived a good life these years. The Golden Lion directly started the taunting mode, you have retired too, why are you still working so hard? Shiki. Garp's iron fists were clenched tightly, ready to go. Shiji, you'd better surrender. You cannot fight against the world government with your own strength. Warring States shook his head. Although he didn't know the specific plan of the Golden Lion, he could guess some of it. The Golden Lion just wanted to take revenge on the world government. If one person could destroy the world government, then the world government would have stopped long ago. Exists. Sengoku, you think too highly of the world government. I may not be able to completely destroy the world government, but I can still change the Holy Land Marijoya to another place. Otherwise, you can try, for example, let this place disappear first. The Golden Lion said, putting his hands on the ground. Golden Lion, I don't care what you do. You can't move in this place, otherwise, it won't be as simple as 2 against 1. Baiyu knows the power of the Golden Lion. If Dressrosa is taken into the air by the Golden Lion, then this place will be destroyed. Dressrosa is one of the bases he has reserved. It cannot be destroyed by the Golden Lion. Baiyu, I know your strength. If you and I join forces, this world belongs to us. Do you really want to go against me? The Golden Lion's eyes narrowed slightly. He came here mainly to invite Baiyu. If possible, he really doesn't want to start a war with Baiyu. I have no interest in world domination or anything like that, and I don't have that much ambition. I just want to follow these idiots and have free adventures on the sea. Baiyu shook his head, if you leave here, I won't take action against you. After all, you are a real man, and I admire you very much. The Golden Lion dared to break into the Navy headquarters alone and cut off his own feet in order to escape from prison. This is definitely a pure man. It's just that he and the Golden Lion are not the same. Of course, if the Golden Lion, he is also very welcome to join the Straw Hat Pirates. Baiyu is the vice captain of our Straw Hat Pirates, so he won't go with you. Rudderhead. Luffy shouted loudly. Bastard brat. I get angry when I see that hat of yours. The veins on the Golden Lion's forehead popped out in anger. If it weren't for Garp and Sengoku, he really would have taught Luffy a lesson. Do you have a grudge against Shanks? Luffy asked doubtfully. I don't care about that brat. The Golden Lion said disdainfully, I'm talking about Roger. Roger the Pirate King. Luffy was stunned for a moment. Your hat was given to the red-haired kid by Roger, but he didn't expect that the red-haired kid would give the straw hat to you. Golden Lion turns on spoiler mode again. Was this hat worn by Roger the Pirate King? Luffy took off his hat and stared blankly. I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 150. This is my most precious hat. I will leave it to you for safekeeping. You will return it to me when you become a powerful pirate in the future. This is what Shanks said when he handed the hat to him. Luffy has always regarded this straw hat as his most important treasure. But he did not expect that the straw hat turned out to be the one worn by Roger, the Pirate King. It seems you don't know yet. Didn't that red-haired kid tell you? The Golden Lion chuckled. Okay, don't act like you're old here. You have the nerve to talk about your trivial matters. Just leave now. Baiyu waved his hand, a little impatient. He found that the Golden Lion guy was a little mentally abnormal, maybe because of his brain injury. Garp, Warring States, we are here today, next time we will have a good time. Golden Lion said and flew into the sky. Garp and Sengoku did not stop him, mainly because they were afraid that the madman Golden Lion would really drop the island in the sky. After all, that madman dared to break into the Navy headquarters alone, no, what can't he do? Aren't you two going to chase me? Baiyu looked at the two old men. Baiyu, you should leave quickly, the Navy will be here soon. Garp hesitated for a moment, then spoke. Warring States glanced at Garp and didn't say anything. Well, since you told me a piece of news, I will also tell you a piece of information. There is a vice admiral in the G5 branch named Fergo, who is Doflamingo's subordinate. Baiyu smiled. That's it, goodbye. Let's go now, there's still a banquet left to eat. Luffy looked unhappy. I will have food and wine prepared and delivered to your ship. King Riku said immediately. He knew the identity of the Straw Hats, and he also knew the relationship between the Straw Hats, the naval hero Garp, and the former Marshal Sengoku. Therefore, there was nothing to be afraid of, if the navy hadn't come. Well, he really needs to thank the Straw Hats properly. Uncle King, you are such a good man. Luffy felt better immediately when he heard there was another banquet. Lugo, come here. Baiyu shouted. Lugo immediately walked over honestly. King Riku, Lugo will stay to help you from now on, as well as the scientist. They will not cause trouble. Their abilities can quickly restore Dressrosa to its previous prosperity and become more powerful. Baiyu is not polite. He wants to keep Dressrosa to become one of his bases. The next base is the country of Wano, followed by Elbaf, the hometown of the giants. These powerful places will become his base. Of course, if he can, he will not let go of the Fur tribe on the Elephant Master's back. The strength of the Fur tribe under the full moon night is very terrifying. If you train them well, they will be a good group of combatants. Cap, we've made a mistake. Sengoku looked at the Straw Hats leaving and took a deep breath. This is not the first time. Are you really planning to take action against them? Garp licked his nostrils, and then patted Sengoku's shoulder. Asshole! You rubbed your boogers on me again. Warring States roared angrily. Cheers! The Straw Hats started to hold a banquet very happily. Although there were some surprises, they still had a lot of fun. The Wanli Sunshine sailed slowly on the sea. When the people on the ship got tired, they just lay down on the deck. Fell asleep. Baiyu, is this straw hat really worn by the Pirate King? Luffy suddenly asked. Is this important? You smiled slightly. If you want to become the Pirate King, it's not that simple. It's not just a matter of strength, but also your heart. After saying that, Baiyu closed his eyes. Heart. Luffy scratched his head and looked at the straw hat in his hand. Then he fell asleep. However, there was still one person who was not sleeping at this time. This person was Sanji. Because today Quinn revealed his identity. His identity exposed, this is not a good thing. The most important thing is that his beast father is still proposing marriage for him. He knows that the family will come to find him soon. He doesn't need to think about it, he knows that the despicable guy, he will definitely use all means to threaten him. After a night of silence, it soon dawned. Everyone also woke up from their sleep. The boat immediately became lively. The Straw Hat Pirates are really lively. My dear brother, how have you been over the years? Reiju appeared on the ship with a smile on her face. Sister. Sanji never expected that his sister would come to him and come so quickly. Sister. Everyone looked at Sanji and Reiju in surprise. The two of them really looked alike, at least their eyebrows were curled up. Hello, I am Sanji's sister, and my name is Vinsmoke Reiju. Thank you for always taking care of our Sanji. Reiju smiled slightly at everyone and made a brief introduction. Hey, Sanji actually has a sister. Vinsmoke. I seem to have heard it somewhere. Isn't Sanji an orphan? Why did another sister appear? It seems that what the fat man said is true. Miss Reiju, can you let me see your underwear? Boom. Who will show you? Nami punched Brook away. This pirate group is the Five Emperors. Looks like a bunch of fools. Two more men appeared. One was wearing red clothes and the other was wearing blue clothes. Iji, Niji, why are you two here? Didn't I tell you not to come? After Reiju saw the two people, she immediately frowned. If we don't come, I don't know if you will let this waste go. Iji said coldly. Sanji, come with us, father has prepared a marriage for you. Niji said. I won't go with you, get out now before I get angry. Sanji looked at the two of them indifferently. If there is anything else in the Vinsmoke family that he cares about, it is only his sister Reiju. He doesn't care about the life or death of others at all. Waste. How dare you talk to us like this? Iji, don't talk nonsense with him, catch him talking. The two people's eyes were cold, and they didn't regard Sanji as their younger brother at all. Now that we know that our Straw Hat pirates are the 5 emperors, how dare we act so recklessly here? Bayou shouted coldly. Thunder continued to flash around him, and even the temperature in the air continued to increase.